Welcome back to the grind. I have been meaning to make an Invisible Women showcase, but this video is going to highlight some of Invisible Women's strength while we use her as a rank 1 6-star to solo the Act 7 Red Hulk boss. Now, playing Invisible Women is a bit tedious, but it does pay off. And Invisible Woman has a very nice failsafe where if you get hit while you have your shield active, the attacks will miss and you won't take the damage. So you can recover and then build up your shield charges again and then work towards building up the vulnerability charges. The main way Invisible Woman gets her damage output is by stacking vulnerability charges on the opponent, which are placed anytime her shield is active and she dexes one of their attacks. So every time you activate a dex, you'll add a stack of vulnerable to the opponent. You also get extra energy damage from the attacks when you have the shield active, and it is increased based on how full your shield is charged. The tedious part is if you get hit even by blocking or parrying, your invisible shield will go down and you will eventually lose all your vulnerable charges on the opponent. So you really have to avoid getting hit. So you have to master intercepting and evading the champion's special attacks without blocking, which does mean some champions who have difficult to evade special attacks are not the best opponents to use Invisible Woman against, because you will then lose some of your damage output. However, using that shield as well as the miss mechanic, it can really decrease the amount of health that you lose in those matchups where you have to take block hits from some special attacks. Here is an example of where I messed up and would have gotten comboed, but you can see it was just a miss attack and now my shield is down and the vulnerable charges have gone away. So I have to restack them all up again once my shield is active. I do apologize for some of the lag and glitching. I am playing it on my iPad, which tends to get a little bit warm and sometimes has a little bit of lag. But while you're playing Invisible Woman, once you get into a rhythm and you stack up those vulnerable charges on the opponent and you get into a rhythm with intercepting, you can really build up some high damage, especially against this Red Hulk, because you get increased damage if you intercept one of their attacks with your own basic attack. So I intercept and then go into a special 2, which further increases the damage that it deals. And despite having a buffet node healing him 18,000 HP every time I use a buff, I am still able to out damage the heals and take him down eventually. It does take about 6 to 7 minutes, so it is a very long fight, but Invisible Woman is still an option if you can get the hang of using her effectively. Invisible Woman also has a very high crit chance, so you will be seeing a lot of yellow numbers and makes her useful for like crit me lanes if you need her as an option. I'm going to be speeding up certain sections of this. I do end up getting into a fairly good rhythm and get a lot of vulnerable charges built up, but eventually end up losing them and having to rebuild them up halfway through. So I'm going to finish off the video with some music. I hope you did enjoy this little tutorial on Invisible Woman, as well as watching the remainder if you care to stay and see this Invisible Woman at rank 1 as a 6-star solo the Red Hulk boss in Act 7. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you in the next video.